we didn't come here to talk about football. We came to talk telly. Now, this is Talking Telly Podcast, episode 11, and as you may know, we are on YouTube, which we haven't. Well, we actually tried last time, but it was unsuccessful because we just couldn't get to it. So now we are back after a short enough hiatus.
A summer break hiatus.
Yeah. And yeah. Let's just briefly talk about some. We'll do some news first. We'll talk about Dublin Comicon, and then we'll talk about some upcoming shows.
Yep.
So briefly, how do you say? Continuing from last week and the week before, we'll talk about Ezra Miller again, who I'm pretty sure he has been confirmed to have been arrested.
Really? They caught him?
Yeah.
No way, the Flash has been caught, folks.
Yeah, Ezra Miller has been caught, and some of the stories that, like, where he was living has been crazy. Like, he's been living, like, with, kidnapping is the wrong word, but he has this woman living with him, and her child is, like, a woman and child are living with him, and it's, like, they don't want to be there, and there's guns all over the house.
Jesus Christ. It's from Miller. So he's practically
like a cult
kidnapped.
leader. Like, he looks like a psychopath, and there's grooming allegations and everything. But The Flash still hasn't been cancelled. Warner Brothers are still pushing on, and they need to get it done because Ezra Miller is the man. He is the prime actor who, without him, God, you could not make a Flash movie. You just couldn't. Apparently.
You couldn't bring in like an already fan-loved iteration of the Flash. You couldn't just bring in Grant Gustin.
No, way too complicated.
Ooh, he's on the CW. You know, he was part of a super successful superhero show. For you can't bring him in. Dude, God,
it's just
you can't bring in other iterations of Flash instead of just doing Barry Allen. You couldn't bring in, like a Wally West. You couldn't bring in,
anything, literally anything.
You literally could have done a Wally West story, and you could just sub out when they say Barry for Wally, and it would still make sense because they're practically the same character.
And it's funny because
people would be happy with that too.
Oh yeah,
they'd be happy with a Wally West story.
It's funny because they cancelled Batgirl, which I don't think I didn't even know there was a Batgirl.
Oh, there was a Batgirl movie, but this was so under the radar, even WB forgot about it.
But it was done. Apparently, it was fully done, and they were like, "Yeah, no, this is shit. Pull the plug."
Oh, the only thing they needed to do was just edit. That was it.
Yeah,
but they were afraid to put it in cinemas in case it just,
But apparently, the Flash.
Morbius.
Apparently, they're just so convinced that the Flash is gonna be like, I don't know, the next Aquaman, that they're ready to ride or die on Ezra Miller. As if when he makes this movie, his sins are forgiven. Like, oh my God, this movie is so good. Ezra Miller, I'm gonna live with you now. He suddenly becomes.
Oh my God, they're setting up the Morbius cult. Yeah. That's what it was.
The Jared Leto, like, what was it? His like getaway cult, where they'd go to like his like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Jared Leto's little cult where they'd go on like a little resort, and you pay like hundreds to like do yoga with Jared Leto and to look at Jared Leto talk and to just look at Jared Leto and listen to him talk about like his chi, and I don't even know like what Jared Leto talks about.
I remember that it was like a spiritual getaway or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was literally something called enlightening, which is hilarious because that's quite like that is a cult term.
Yeah.
To be enlightened is a cult term. So
as we all are, of course.
Oh, we are enlightened to the Morbius movie, folks. If you haven't seen that episode, make sure to check it.
I think I've seen that episode. But if you haven't, if you want to rewatch it, then go ahead.
You always have to plug the episodes, man. You gotta learn. You gotta learn to plug.
Now, why don't you give us a rundown of the new Johnny Depp situation that's going on?
Oh, the new Johnny Depp situation, folks. I find this one quite funny. Now, everybody was happy to jump on the Johnny Depp bandwagon once the court cases started to clear up, and it looked like Johnny was winning, looked like he was a cool, good guy again. Jack Sparrow would never abuse or touch a woman. You remember this? All the celebrities, they slowly start seeing Johnny Depp be, what would you say, forgiven legally.
Oh yeah,
And they were like, we'll show our support for this guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually that bad of a guy.
Yeah, like it's like just siding with someone, I suppose. Especially since the popular majority like them. It's I like Johnny Depp, so I must be a good guy. No, this doesn't. We're not saying that Amber Heard is a good person. She's a horrible person. And by no means does this change anything about her. But go ahead.
Yeah, with this story, however, everybody who ran towards a siren call, which is Johnny Depp's court case and him being justified and him being a good guy, and slowly realised that siren's call, it was quite literally a siren's call, as they pushed to get Johnny Depp's court files unsealed. So this means any evidence which wasn't or couldn't be used in the court case could now be revealed to the public for a low price of 10 grand.
Yeah.
So avid Depp fans decided to pull together enough money with a GoFundMe and get these files or pieces of evidence released to the public, much to their dismay, because when they started to read through the files and the pieces of evidence and everything, you soon realize why they were disclosed. You soon realize why they were sealed, because it's not fully known yet, the full context of them.
There's a lot of claims, a lot of statements, but apparently some of the main things include apparently there's a statement of Johnny Depp saying Amber Heard never caused him physical or mental injury. Apparently there are some texts between Johnny Depp and the psychopath that is Marilyn Manson, where they're both apparently talking about abusing women, and apparently there's apparently a lot of photos and audio tapes that have been manipulated. Johnny Depp would submit a photo up in the court, and apparently they were manipulated and apparently showed something else. Now, this may or may not be true to the full extent. We don't really know, since we really can't see that much. But
bear in mind, these are just what you call it, pieces of evidence or documents which are sealed for a reason, but they aren't the full story.
No.
Of course, we can't get the full story. Yet again, we're just viewers. We are only given what we are meant to be shown. And these unsealed documents are a real eye opener for most Johnny Depp fans.
And apparently,
when they realise, their hero may not also be
a hero or a good guy.
Yeah, once you forgive someone, it doesn't mean they're abstained from all sin. That's the most important takeaway from all this.
Apparently there's a final thing that some of the other rumors were weird, but apparently Johnny Depp and whoever had plans of using a nude of Amber Heard against her in some way.
Jesus.
Now, we don't know if this is true or not. That's what has been reported and rumoured. But these allegations do not look good for Johnny Depp at all.
That is bad. That is bad.
Yeah, let's hope none of these are true, but that one is especially bad.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't consider myself a huge Johnny Depp fan, but I do enjoy the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
Oh yeah, no,
I do enjoy his other pieces as well, like Edward Scissorhands. You have odd cult classics. I'm not saying Johnny Depp's a cult classic actor, but you know what I mean.
Yes, Edward Scissorhands. What's Donnie Brasco, Charlotte and the Chocolate Factory reboot. The new Charlotte.
There is a lot of good movies.
Sweeney Todd, which I really want to see. How can I forget The Lone Ranger?
Oh, The Lone. He was actually really good in that. He was actually really good in that.
I heard that movie was bad.
Oh, it was a bad movie. It was whoever acted as the cowboy was really bad, but Johnny Depp was actually really good in it.
Yeah.
Just for anybody who wanted to watch a bit of Johnny Depp, you know, it
Alice
doesn't
in Wonderland.
barely say. Oh,
He was. I saw that in the cinemas.
Yeah, you probably want to unwatch that one.
That's actually a creepy movie.
Yeah, it's such a weird movie. It's a Tim Burton, isn't it?
I'm fairly certain. Yeah, Tim Burton.
I think it is.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guess how much it made in the box office? Holy cow.
500 mil.
Guess how much in the box office Alice in Wonderland made? 500 mil.
500 mil. 500 mil. Half a billion.
1.025 billion.
What? Alice in Wonderland?
Damn, I didn't think it was such
Billy? Oh my god, I was off. I was off by double.
I didn't think it was such a
I was
big
off
hit.
by double. I made the whole bill? What?
Jesus. That's terrifying.
Jean Laporta looking at this like, trying to make me a sequel.
I mean,
like,
there was
Jesus
a sequel.
Christ.
There was Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Oh my god, there was. I completely forgot that movie existed. Oh my god.
That movie made 300 million, so it was still 150 million profit. But my god,
still, that is awful for a Disney movie. That is awful for a Disney.
This is Disney.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but no. But it's live action. Keep in mind, so it's good. Every single Disney live action movie has been terrible. Mulan.
Mulan was so bad. Mulan was so bad.
Mulan. I think Tiger King wasn't that good.
Tiger King. What are you talking about? Tiger King now. Hold on a minute.
Oh, Lion King.
Lion King. Yeah, there you go. Lion King was like, in no way, shape, or form am I condoning any drug use.
Okay.
In saying this, but The Lion King would probably be hilarious to watch. Well, yoinked. It's probably hilarious to watch.
Why?
Like, it seems like a spectacle kind of movie, you know?
Oh.
If you're completely baked watching this, you'd probably think this is like the gospel. The gospel in real. Like, this is...
Oh. Alright, yeah. So that's mainly the news. Now, let's first hop on to the meat and potatoes of this podcast. Dublin Comicon. Now, Dublin Comicon was a week ago. Yes, correct.
Yep, yeah, a week ago.
And we went to the Sunday event, which is like, you know, lower key, not as packed, not as tumultuous as a Saturday. And, well, the day started off pretty bad. This is nothing to do with Comicon, but when we went to hop on a bus, the driver pulled up, and there was a group in front of us, and he's like, he counts them. Then he goes back into the bus, counts the whole bus, and goes, yeah, we can only fit 3 people on. So we knew we weren't going on, so we were already pissed. And funnily enough, the group in front of us, the 5 group, they split in 2, and 3 of them got on and just left like half the group behind, which is a pretty horrible thing to do to your friends.
I thought this was funny, by the way. Like,
it was
I already
funny.
knew we weren't getting on the bus. I kind of held out a glimpse of hope, thinking they'd get off.
Yeah, I thought they'd get off, let us on, because they'd wait with the rates. But they were like, no,
they didn't.
They didn't even. They just kind of laughed, looked at them, and just drove off. It was so sad. So
yeah, it really calls into question like who your friends are. You know, they're not gonna wait in the next bus for you. They literally just waved them off. They're like, oh, can they not get on? Okay. Oh. I felt bad for them. They
oh my god, they waited for
sat
the
there.
next bus.
They waited for the next bus.
Yeah. They I don't
like
know
everyone else walked off in anger.
Yeah.
And they waited for the next bus. My heart went out to them. I'll give them that.
So we just got a taxi angrily, and while just before we got there, obviously we went on the Saturday, but it came to light that GSP, he maybe cancelled earlier, but he wasn't showing up. Well, he did show up on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is I mean, if I went on a Saturday, I would have been gutted to not see him there. But that's fine.
JSP, that was literally the one person we were looking forward to seeing.
No,
I was looking forward to seeing.
We weren't going to see him. But
yeah, we weren't going to see him.
No,
he was slated for Saturday and Sunday, and then he changed to Saturday.
It was only Saturday from the start.
Oh, was it only Saturday?
Yeah. But they got down low again, you know, for Saturday and Sunday. So alright, that's pretty good. So like the cast is pretty solid. Can't argue with it. So we get there. walking in, get some Lucozade alert from the people outside. Nice. That's nice. Keeps us going for the day, even though it does kind of upset your stomach after a bit. Like you can
I didn't suffer from anything like that.
No.
I actually thought it was quite nice.
It was nice, but I had one today, the one I kept, and after a while,
Yeah, maybe because it was a week in your bag. Or
no,
something.
it was in the fridge the whole time. It was perfectly healthy.
What one did you have though?
Just a normal.
We are in no way,
original.
shape, or form. We are in no way, shape, or form saying you should buy Lucozade Alert. By the way, this is not a paid promotional ad.
I wish
This is
I was
just our
paid.
experience.
I wish I was handing out Lucozade alert by Lucozade, but it was okay. So we go in, and it's empty. But we're kind of like, alright, we got the early pass, of course. Now we didn't get there early because we had a taxi.
Yeah, we missed the bus.
So we were like an hour early, but still early, if you know what I mean, because the early pass is 2 hours. So we go in, and convention center is really big. The queues are all nice and set up. So since we have the early passes, we get in, and we go in, and it's like, alright, we go left to the main hall, and it's just off. Like, yeah, there are stalls there, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like, since it's early, we're giving it the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's not in fully swing. Maybe some things aren't like fully set up. But hey, it's Comicon. Let's check out the comic stalls. So there were about 3 to 4 main comic stalls there, but honestly, I'd say 2 main comic stalls, and then 2 like kind of smaller.
The comic stalls were so weak, folks. They
So-
were so weak.
Big Bang comic. So actually, no. First, I'll talk about the independent side comics. It was 2 guys comics or something.
Yeah, I think it was something like
They
that.
come in there and they have some mildly interesting stuff, which that's already like okay. Where's the cool stuff? Where's the boys? I came in want to see the boys because after all, the boys is an extremely popular show. Season 3 recently came out. Everyone's watching it. Everyone's talking about it. Surely you'd expect to have some sort of issue or omnibus or arc over the boys at Comicon. Spoiler alert: they didn't have it anywhere. So we go to the guys, whatever they're called. We're going to check them out. Nothing looks great. They don't have any cool arc or whatever. But I checked some random arc, checked the price, and it was like €40 for a 300-page thing. Something that could easily be 25 or 30. And everything was priced was upscaled crazily for these 2 guys. Which you'd think in Comic-Con it'd be the opposite. It'd be cheaper to buy comics at Comic-Con. But no, it was ridiculously expensive. And they had like these mystery bags.
The mystery bags. Yeah. What was it, like 3 first issues?
It was 15 for 3, right? Or was it 15 for 5?
No, I think it was 15 for 3,
Yeah.
and then it was one of them for 8.
Yeah.
And like, you're probably looking at this thinking, oh, this would be good value. And I remember while we were walking around,
Yeah.
and this guy, he bought, I'd say, a good 10 of them.
Mhm.
And I don't think you saw this, actually.
I don't
He
think
bought
so.
a good 10, and this is what turned me. I was actually going to buy one.
Yeah, you.
Just for, I bought this at Comic-Con kind of thing.
Mm.
I was going to buy one of them. This dude bought 10.
Yeah.
He bought 10 of them thinking great value. They were all like The Incredible Hulk issue 1. And it was like some random issue. It was just like some BS issue. And he's like, this is the same one in every single pack. Just the wrapping all over the ground. Like this.
That's bad.
I don't think he was like, what would the best
No, that's what.
wording of this be?
So we walk around and there's it's weird. Like they had some cool like the Xenomorph was there and the Bumblebee car was there, but I don't know. Like that's alright. They had a tattoo place we could get tattooed, which is like fine.
I thought that was,
It was
like,
cool,
weird, but
like,
like kind of
that-
cool.
Yeah, they had, and that was like one side. Then the other side of Comic Con was like filled with like manga and anime stuff, which it would be great if you're interested in that. I'm sure.
Oh, if you're into it, I'm sure it would be like pretty cool. But
You definitely enjoy
we
Comic Con
weren't
if
into
you're
it.
more into anime and manga, just because there's more variety. But since we're not really into that stuff, we We didn't get anything.
We didn't find any enjoyment out of that section. And for such a big section as well, it's kind of disappointing.
And then we walk around it and we're kind of like, wait, it's been like 15 minutes and we've seen everything. Like, and we went slow. We walked around into every single stall, checking out what they had, even the manga and the anime stalls. And we were like, is this it? Like, what? So, alright, we're gonna come back later when it gets more busy. Maybe there'll be a bit of a vibe, because it was dead. Which is, expected, I guess. So
expected for a Sunday.
Yeah. So we go up, and there's a lot of floors, and there's like, there's a big, like, TV that says the dates and, the time, and when an event will occur. So we're thinking, at 11, there's the main comic panel where the guests, some of the guests will line up and they'll talk and they'll chat or whatever. So we'll just check out the whole place before. So we go up to floor 2. I don't remember what was in floor 2, but I'm pretty sure there was nothing. Then we go just forgot.
No, floor 2 was independent stuff, so it was like Irish artists, and it was also the meet and greet area.
Yeah, that was... Oh, yes, I just want to forget. The gaming place downstairs was like 4 computers, which had Fortnite and FIFA.
Oh, that was so bad.
Bad. When I came there, I think that was probably the saddest thing I saw, because it's like the gaming area, and you come, and it's for secondary school computers, and I'm just standing there we paid, I felt like I was at like an amateur convention at that point. I was like, what is this? Like, where am I? Am I in City West Convention Center? Did I pay like a $5 to get in here?
Lately, if you paid a $5 to get into this and you saw that, you'd ask for your $5 back.
So that was bad. So we went upstairs, and that was, if you're a Star Trek fan, that would have been cool. There was like an old Star Trek fan. They had it was like a stage where you could get your picture taken in like the deck of the Star Trek ship, and we did get, I wouldn't say harassed, but the main guy was like, "Hey, do you want a picture with the Star Trek? Do you?" And we were like, "No." And he's like, "It's free, and we're like, "No."
Please get in the ship. Please take your photo with the ship. Please.
We were like, we just want to walk, we check what's out here. The whole independent artist stuff was empty, which we were like, alright, it's got to show up later, so that's fine. We walk around, nothing much. Go to the third floor. Third floor is empty. But we go to the left, and there's a little a place where the tournaments will be later. So I'm like, alright, let's see what games they have that will be there. And it was Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and a Pokemon game. I don't know how to play any 3 of them, so I don't know what I expected, but that was
disappointing.
Then the auditorium was on that level, but we still had some time, so we went upstairs to check out the Lego building place, and you go there, and it's literally think of a secondary school classroom where you have
the best art on display. It felt like a junior cert art project.
When they put all the tables together to make a big I think of a U, like a U made of tables. That's where it was stationed, and there was some art in the corner, and it looked okay. It was literally like a picture, like a Lego picture almost, over a Marvel character, which it looked cool, but there were no Lego stands or anything cool. It was all okay. So we're continuing, we're walking, and there's the build your Lego place. You could build Lego, and it was literally it was multiple boxes of single Lego pieces and 2 Lego pieces. We were we wanted to build some Lego, but after seeing that, we didn't want to build some Lego.
It was no more Lego for us, boss. I thought the idea or the concept of going to the place, building Lego or something, and then being a community thing, I thought that sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
Until you realise they literally rip off your pieces and put them back in the box once you're done. What? What part of community is that? It's oh yeah, we all build something together, except you don't actually build anything.
Yeah.
It's like writing with an invisible pen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like writing with a KGB pen. You know, you're writing and you're writing and you're writing, and you won't know that the ink is disappearing once you fold over that piece of paper. You don't know that it's gonna disappear. But once it does, and you open up that piece of paper again, you realize it's gone. You're like, well, that was not only a waste of time, just a bit,
Yeah. So we went down. So we're like, alright, time to go to the auditorium. Go a bit early, get some good seats and whatever. So we show up 10 minutes early. The seats are there, and like the stage is set for people to sit there. There's like maybe 10 people, maybe 5 people like downstairs in a big auditorium. So we're thinking, okay, I guess people show up later. Let's go sit. So we go sit upstairs, like in a nice seat, and we're waiting. And they're showing a She-Hulk trailer. They're showing an Apex Legends tournament trailer, and it was a Heartfire, like a Dungeons and Dragons podcast trailer.
No, don't forget the Andor trailer. Do not forget the Andor trailer.
Andor and Prey. Yeah, Andor and Prey. Yeah, God.
Oh, I forgot about the Prey trailer. Yeah,
so
the Andor and Prey trailer.
Those 5 trailers they were playing. And it's like, oh, yeah, what's your trailer? Well, that's cool. What's your trailer? We were like... And we waited, watching these trailers, like sitting there. And like, maybe like... We waited there like 15 minutes. And... 10 more people show up. So we're thinking, okay, like, where are the people? Like, why is no one here? You know what I mean? Like, where is everyone? But they'll all come, and they just didn't come. Like the audience never came. We went there. We waited until 20 past, so we waited for 40 minutes. Watching the same 5 trailers over and over and over again. Nearly went to insanity over that She-Hulk trailer.
Oh my god, the She-Hulk trailer. The She-Hulk trailer.
But it all wouldn't have mattered if the guests, the celebrities came. But they never showed up. They never came. So we sat there for 40 minutes watching the trailers. And that was, to me, the main attraction. There were seats for 4 guests, so one like announcer and 3 other celebrities, and you'd assume they talk, banter, give some stories, but they never showed up. Why would you have an event and like not having your people show up? I don't understand.
So it's not like we were late to this, folks. No. It's not like it didn't happen. No. This was broadcasted. This is happening at 11 o'clock. Yeah. We got there for 11:15. Nothing.
Yeah, we made sure we were there early.
I thought it was weird to begin with, to have something like that, to have like a big thing like that open at 11 on the dot. Like, I thought that was a bit weird.
Yeah, but it's like the first thing, like everyone's got to rush in and go.
Yeah, but the general audience doesn't come in till 11. Like, they're not allowed in till 11. So I thought it was very weird to do it at that time. But still, I was like, I was expecting them to be there.
Yeah, I expected everyone to rush in and go check it, but no one was there in the audience, and no one was there in the thing, which it was just so sad, man. So that was annoying. But okay, maybe we'll go downstairs. It'll be a bit busier, and it was. And we walked around, checked it out. It was actually, yeah. Then I bought Moon Knight comic and toward the God Budget from the Big Bang comic stall. It was the only good stall, but they had about maybe 20 arcs. That's it. Like, they had 20 comics out. Like, that was it, yeah. Like, 20 comics out, and some of them were good. The prices were what you'd expect. It was €22 for both, which, like, cheaper than normal. I was very happy with that price. I expected more comics. I expected any sort of semblance of the boys, which never showed up. So that was disappointing. And but okay, we had at 12 Mick Melanti talking, and we're thinking, who is this bloke? Like, I have no idea who he is. Oh, he voiced Sean Maguire in Red Dead. That's nifty, I guess. So we go up, and to our surprise, it was actually enjoyable. Yeah, it was a bit long, 50 minutes of listening to Mick talk, but he was a very humble, nice person. He just talked about his experiences working for Rockstar as a voice actor, how it was like to get that job, the secrecy involved in it, how it worked, and just some general wholesome, like banter, some nice stories, some questions from the audience. So yeah, Mick Mellenby was overall good. There was one very, very weird question asked, where this, I don't know the age of this guy. I couldn't tell if he was 15 or like 30. But so
I genuinely think it's like 16, 17.
Like some sniveling 16-year-old comes up, and you'd expect, but he's like he starts asking questions, but then he starts pumping himself up, and he was like, "Yeah, I played Shrek in Broadway, and I did this and that," and it's like, and we're like, "Oh wow, that's very good. Oh, that's great. Oh, you keep up your good work, as you should." And it's like you're sitting there going, why is this guy bragging about playing Shrek on Broadway and doing all this stuff and being in all this shit? Like, I don't... And he was dressed as Spider-Man as well, and a very shit cosplay, I'd have to say.
Oh, it was so bad. This was probably like the... Actually, I think after like this story about the sniveling child, I think we need to talk about the cosplay as well.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
But yeah, this child, like, he's dressed in the worst Spider-Man cosplay.
Well, he's...
Like, this is actually...
It was terrible.
I wouldn't even say it was the worst, because I saw so much worse. I saw so much worse.
It'd be fine as a kid, except... I wouldn't mind it, except if he wasn't bragging about how good he was and how talented and how he's going to be, like, the best. And it's like...
I think his question was stupid as well. I think he just had a... Like, I think he just went up there to boost himself. Well, waiting for Sean Malanvy to be like, "You're such a cool kid, you know that. Yeah, maybe you should work for Rockstar."
and then he asks the question, sits down, and then gets up and leaves. So he was waiting to ask Mick. I don't know what it was, but whenever he asked him, he just inserted himself straight away. And that was weird. There were a couple of other weird questions, but most of them were fine.
You know what the weirdest part was? He was like one of the first questions up. He was one of the first questions. I think you had to wait like 25 minutes for someone to actually ask a question, or at least even reference the game. Yeah. That was like the weirdest experience for me, because I was waiting for them to ask questions about the game.
Yeah.
Or talk about the game, or well, what's your favorite moment from the game? This, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody
went up.
Yeah, people
were only at the end.
People were like, how do you deal with rejection in life? And it's like why are you asking Mick Mellenby how he's dealing with rejection in life? Like, what?
I know it's cool to be the voice of Sean on Red Dead Redemption 2. That is a cool thing.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Yeah.
But like, does that mean he knows what like rejection feels like, and how do you deal with it? And like, what?
Like, he's got some life
to ask someone.
Oh well.
Mick Mellenby isn't going to give you the solution to life. Yeah. He's not going to give you the life equation.
The anti-life equation.
Yeah, the anti-life equation. Like, this dude isn't like the antithesis of a dark side. This dude isn't just going to pop up with that life equation. Like, come on.
Yeah, oh god.
Give Mick Mellenby a break. Like, how would you have even... I wouldn't have answered that question. I wouldn't have answered it. The most stupid question. I hope she watches this. I hope she watches this one day. It was the most stupid question I've ever heard someone ask someone ever. I've heard a lot of stupid shit from a lot of stupid people in my lifetime, but that is the worst.
Yeah. It's funny because he answered it in like a professional way, like how he dealt with rejection as a professional, in like people rejecting his art and his like, what's it called? His
like acting and stuff like that.
His casting.
He actually did well with the question.
But she didn't ask how he dealt with rejection in casting. It sounded like she wanted how he dealt with rejection like emotionally and like in his relationships. It was so weird.
I think it's also hilarious because she looks like the kind of girl who got rejected a couple of times, the wanderlost lover. Jesus Christ, man.
But, alright, so we'll go with the cosplays in a bit. Let me just finish my point. So we're done at Mick Mellenby and Dan Folger's next, and we're thinking, alright, Dan Folger, he could be more interesting because Mick was cool, it was enjoyable, but I could do with some more excitement. Dan Fogler, Fogler actually, or whatever. He plays in Fantastic Beasts, and where you find him, he plays the fat jolly guy. I don't remember his name. But he's a cool
I
character.
can't remember his name either.
He's a
Yeah,
cool
but
character.
this guy is
muggle.
tried and true successful actor, you know.
So, and he's gonna come up. So before he comes up, and the lady's like, yeah, you know, one of my favorite actors is about to come up here, you know, world renowned.
Your favorite actors of all time. You're like, come on.
You thinking, okay,
on.
Dan Fogler, favorite actors of all time. All right.
I forgot this dude existed until I forgot this dude was real. She's like one of my favorite actors of all time. And I was like, Leonardo Dicaprio is coming up on stage. Like, what?
And he comes up, and he just. No, but like he's just the biggest asshole.
He was so bad.
Like, take it away. Why don't you give us describe himself?
Are we cursing on this?
Do everything.
Is that happening?
Just give the whole shit back.
This guy was a fucking asshole. This guy was a prick. From the moment he stepped on stage, I actually wanted to punch him. I would have got up on that stage right there and fought his fat ass because he was, oh my god, just the way he walked down his way, he's like. And then he's almost looking around at the crowd like, I'm better than all of you. Oh my god! All 10 of you here, I'm better than each and every one of you.
A lot more people showed up for Dan Fogler. Like a couple of people for Mick, but a good amount. Like it wasn't packed. It was like still like 20% full, but a good amount of people showed up. And he turns and he goes, "Wow, what a crowd!" And I'm like, "All right, I get it. You know, I understand saying the joke. You know, not many people." But he repeats it like 4 or 5 times. Like the one.
Yeah, and he's looking around at the crowd like, "Wow, is this all they could muster from me, Dan Fogler? Is this all they could bring for me? Is this your offering to me?"
Oh. And your one would ask a question, and she'd be like, "Oh, you know, how is it working on this movie?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was an experience. It was interesting." Yeah.
He was quite literally, like, I don't know if you would relate, but you know, like getting like the one worded response.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're trying to have a conversation with someone, and they'd be sitting across from you, like, "Yeah, sure, okay," like a hard to deal with teenager.
Yeah,
that's literally what he was acting like. It was like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Do you want it was good. Like,
So,
I don't know. Like it's hard to explain, but
it's like he wasn't. It's like he didn't want to be there. Like it's like he didn't want to answer the question.
He did not want to be there. He did not want to be there.
So, and they asked, "Oh, have any of you seen his like upcoming movie?" And no one saw it.
Yeah, no one saw. I forget the name, and I'm no way, shape, or form promoting this dude's work because I hate the guy. I hate the guy.
It was so funny because he's like, "Oh, okay."
Like, no one has seen it, huh? And I don't even think the presenter woman saw it. I don't even think she saw it.
No, she did. She was talking about yeah, I know it's a show. Apparently, it's a show, not a movie. It's a show.
Oh, it is actually. Yeah, thinking about it.
But God.
It was like the making of. The making of the Godfather. Yeah. That's what it was.
It was called The Offer, and it was about them making the Godfather.
It sounds like a cool concept for a show, but I'm never gonna watch it because he's in it.
No, it's not. It's got some good people. Like it's got Miles Teller. It's got a couple of other people. It's got Tom Hanks's brother. I think Tom Hanks's. Wait, no, it's got Colin Hanks. I don't think he's Tom Hanks's brother. No, Colin Hanks.
Colin Hanks.
Yeah.
Or Colin.
Colin.
Oh, Colin.
Colin. He's
Colin Hanks.
Oh, the son of Tom Hanks. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
He looks older than Tom Hanks.
No way.
He looks, well, obviously not. He doesn't look older than Tom Hanks now because Tom Hanks is so old. But I'm gonna put a picture on the screen of what Colin Hanks looks like. And God, he looks old. Maybe he is old. He must be old.
Put this into the Discord. I need to see this.
He was in the Jumanji sequel. I think I don't know.
He's in the Jumanji sequel.
In one of them. Because they're multiple. Look at this son of Tom Hanks. Look at that.
Oh, I have seen that guy. guy.
Yeah, he's a face that you recognise.
Yeah, I have seen that guy. Where have I seen him? I know Jumanji. He was the
Jumanji 2.
Was it Jumanji 2?
He was in a lot of stuff.
He was in Jumanji 1. It was the...
He's not in Jumanji 1.
No, not Jumanji. Not the original Jumanji.
He said Jumanji 1.
Oh, sorry. The reboot of Jumanji 1 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
the reboot of Jumanji 1. I think there's 2 movies for the reboot.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
But, like, the guy's 44, which is, like... I mean...
How old is Tom Hanks now? Jesus.
Like, 44 and looking like that, it's, if you know, Tom Hanks is 66. So, but... Like, looking like that, 44, I can understand. Which I'm not, like, you don't look bad or nothing. But, if you look at other Hollywood actors that are 44...
Oh, you wouldn't even know.
Oh my god.
You think...
Like, you're looking at Jensen Ackles is 44. Soldier
Really?
Boy, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he is.
He looks a solid 25. Like, he looks like a 25-year-old dude you'd see in town.
Tom Hardy, James Franco.
Tom Hardy recently has started to look a bit old.
Yeah, but he looks cool old.
Oh, he's like aging like a George Clooney almost.
Yeah.
Like looking cooler. Like as time goes by.
Even people like Jared Butler, who's 50, looks like younger. Gerald Butler, Matthew McConaughey, they're all like 50.
No. Gerald Butler has looked the same age for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
He's looked the same age. The dude just hasn't aged. Like he just immediately like grew out the beard, grew out the dad bod, and then just stayed that way.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so what else? You take away the rest of Comicon.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about the cosplay.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous. I hope everyone who dressed up.
Well, wait.
Bar 10 people. I'm gonna say 10 people.
Yeah.
Looked ridiculous. Like, looked stupid. I think there was one person. I just remember this one person from the back of my head. I think the most she did was put on, like, a Scarlet Witch cardboard
so funny
face mask. Like, she didn't even bother to wear red or anything.
Yeah.
She just wore the cutout, and I was like, maybe they're giving them out for free. No,
so
she actually
funny.
brought it along with her.
It was
Why?
like...
Why would you bother?
Oh, it
Why
was so funny. Like, she looked like dressed as a normal person, and then the little, like, the triangle thing that goes over the face.
I was like, that is so stupid looking. Like,
so
you look
funny.
stupid right now. Like, on a child, maybe. Like, oh, you know.
Yeah, it's a kid.
Yeah. Kid, like a little baby.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's pretty funny. That's pretty cool. This is a grown-ass woman. This is a grown-ass woman with her husband. Like, what are you doing?
So,
Get that off your face.
So that was weird.
And then there's other people that dress up as like weird, wacky anime characters, which look completely stupid.
I mean, some of them were, like, a lot of them were...
No, some of them, don't get me wrong, were cool and well constructed, and I have to give praise to the 10 people who actually, put in the effort and looked decent. There was a Daredevil one, which looked really cool.
The Daredevil one was good. There was the Jawa guy was very good.
Oh, the Jawa guy was
the Star Wars people showed up. The Star Wars people had good cosplays.
Oh, Star Wars always has good cosplays. It's the anime ones which are just completely stupid. Like half of them are decent, decent. I wouldn't know what they are because the anime they're dressing from is so niche.
Mm-hmm. Well, niche for us.
Oh, probably niche for us, yeah. But like, for them, like some of them look like there was a girl going around with like angel wings or something. I was like, that looked like it took a shit lot of time. Construct and make, and fair play to you. But then there's others who are dressed up and you're looking at them like, Jesus Christ, who let you out of the house?
So while we were walking around and looking at all these people, after we left Dan Folger after the first 10 minutes because he was such an asshole, we went to check out everything again. So we went to floor 2 where all these artists are supposed to be, and half of them were still empty at like 1. Like, I didn't see Scott Snyder anywhere. I didn't see... Scott Snyder, phenomenal, famous Marvel and DC writer. He wasn't anywhere to be seen. Donald Logue was doing autographs, and he looked good. Like, he looked a lot skinnier than you would think Donald Logue
did. He 100%. He looked a lot better than what he did in the Gotham show and stuff like that.
All props to him. Looks great. Charles Martinet was in the corner. He's a lot bigger than you think.
Yeah, he's actually quite big.
And Peter, the Robocop guy, he was in the corner as well for like 10 minutes. I think
He looks old now.
Yeah, we never did get to see Dominique. We never did get to see Dominique Maeve because she had her signings.
I saw her actually. She has blonde hair now.
Yeah, but did you see her at Comicon?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I saw her in the corner of my eye.
No, something.
Like I only say I saw her, but yeah,
apparently she had signings at like 10. Oh, sorry, not 10, like 5 p.m. She's always had blonde hair. I'm looking at her now.
Oh.
It
was like blonde highlighted hair, and I was like, oh.
Oh, she's Irish.
Is she?
Yeah. What the hell?
Well, that's actually pretty cool.
She graduated in UCD, born in
No
Dublin.
way, she's a UCD. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here.
Where's the menu?
Should have died. Sorry, spoilers. Should have died.
Well, that's no spoilers.
Oh yeah, that's not spoilers. Oh yeah. Well, it is technically spoilers. It is technically spoilers. Because you don't know if she's gonna die or not.
Well, it's not like she'd be from Minute.
It would be pretty based on Red Pill, folks, if she was from Minute, but she's not. We only got the guy from. What's the name of that show again? The RT one, which people are going mad about. Ordinary Things, is it?
I have no idea.
I can't remember. All I remember is that I saw a picture of like some famous dude who was on an RTE show. I think it was called like Ordinary People or something like that. And he went to Minute.
I've googled famous people from Minute. The only guy I know is the Bournemouth keeper, Travers, the Irish guy.
Travers is from Minute?
Yeah.
Travers is from Minute?
Let's go.
I've seen it. He's actually a good goalkeeper. What? He plays for Ireland all the time. No way. That's actually cool. That's cool. Look at who we got. Look at who we got, UCD.
He was literally born in Minute.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Oh.
Guy is a good goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
Not as good as my guy Bazunu, like. Come on.
Yeah, not as good as Kelleher.
Not even motion in the response to that one.
What do you mean? What? Kelleher is better than Bazunu.
You cannot say Kelleher better than Bazunu.
That's because
you can't say it. You can't say it.
Bazunu saved one pen, and all of a sudden he's the best in the world. He saves Ronaldo's pen, and all of a sudden he's a god.
Bazunu.
He saved a pen, and that's
it. Beast. Bazunu is beast. Do not sleep on my boy Bazunu.
I'm not saying he's bad. He's good.
Do not sleep on him. I swear.
He's good, but. He played.
What did Queven Kelleher do? What did Queven Kelleher do? He scored a pen.
He played great for the Cups. He is better than Adrian. He is Liverpool's second keeper.
He's better than. It's not that big of a feat to be better than Adrian.
It's not that big of a feat. You're saying Bazunu is better than Adrian?
No, Bazunu is definitely better than Adrian. Bazunu is definitely better than Adrian.
Southampton's number one.
If you watch Bazunu in the Irish games, he's actually he is a beast. He's actually a beast.
Is he better than Randolph?
Anyone's better than Randolph. Anyone's better than Randolph. I don't even know where Randolph is playing anymore. I don't even know if he still plays.
Oh, he's so bad.
Bazunu is Ireland's goalkeeper right now. Yeah. Ireland's goalkeeper. That's not a big feat, mind you. That's not a big accomplishment. But he is Ireland's goalkeeper. We are so bad.
And the final cool thing that we saw on Comic-Con was right before we were going to leave. There was a wrestling match that happened. That was pretty cool. It was like 5-10 minutes. It was short enough, but it was cool.
Oh, it was actually, it was a good piece to add in. Yeah. It was actually entertaining.
It was packed, and the crowd were into it. It wasn't super crazy wrestling, but it was cool. Oh,
it was basic wrestling, but it was still and it was basic story, basic motive, it was an easy in-out kind of transaction.
Heel makes fun of the crowd, face comes in, face does well, heel starts doing good, heel makes fun of the crowd again, face makes a comeback, hits his finisher and wins.
Yeah. That's literally all you want from a 5-minute transaction.
And in the end, I think we were there for 4 hours. We were there for a good while.
Yeah.
And Oh, I mean, we didn't get 2 comics out of it, but going to Comicon, I expected more comics. I expected more comic stuff. I expected the goddamn
I
first
expected
panel.
a lot more.
I expected the panel to show up and for the guests to be there when they talk, and that pissed me off to no end. Like, they didn't even say, "Oh, it was cancelled" or nothing. They just acted as it happened, as if it happened, and like, no problem. Oh, that pisses me off.
I really wish they did better. I really wish they did better with Comic Con. So I've been to a couple of them and they've been good. And this one was just so disappointing.
That one is definitely
Like, it was
not
actually
good.
just so disappointing.
So, yeah.
I just, like, honestly, if I had any, like, recommendations for people organising Comic Con for next year, you don't even need to go big and outlandish.
No.
You don't even need to. I think you just need to go back to the roots.
Just more
I
comics,
think
more stalls.
more stalled, more comics. That's all you need. More stalled, more comic.
More games.
Like, more comic orientated, I should say. I know anime is a big cash grab right now.
It's
But
fine.
they could literally
it's
organise an anime con.
But no, they could just have like the second floor be anime or something.
Yeah.
Like this,
I'd actually-
like there was there's plenty of space. The 5th, 4th, 3rd floor, they were empty. There's nothing there. Like, there's plenty of space to put stuff, and I don't know. It was just. It wasn't what you like. I went to City West Star Wars convention like 10 years ago. More actually, it was like 15 years ago. No, like 10 years
Actually, I
ago.
remember hearing about that. Actually.
And I thought it was really good. Like, I went there with my dad when I was like 10, and I got a cool lightsaber. I went around, I saw some deleted scenes of Star Wars. I have a picture with Count Dooku and Yoda. Like, that was cool. This was. Count Dooku wasn't even there.
This sucked. This sucked.
Oh, it was bad. And God, I don't have words for how bad it was. It was just disappointing. You expect more.
You know what the best thing from Dublin Comic Con was? The fucking exit. I'm not being bad, folks. I'm not being bad. But that was the best thing about it. The goddamn door. The revolving door. That's it.
When we left and went to Forbidden Planet. Which also didn't have much comics.
Sucked as well.
Yeah. They didn't have. They had the boys like last 3 issues. Like, what a joke.
It's because everyone's buying it right now. Because everyone's in on the hype train. That's the problem.
Oh my god, buying it online was such a pain. I bought all of them in the end, but like the first one, I couldn't get like the normal cover of it. It's the show cover. Like, it's the. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the pictures of the and I don't like that. Like, I looked at all the websites that sold it. I like sold comics. None of them sold it. Like, the normal edition is like it's Billy Butcher like drawn, and him looking down. And each volume, like, second one is Huey, the third one is Mother's Milk, the fourth one is I think the fourth one's Frenchie, the fifth one's the female is what she's called in the comics, obviously Kimiko. And then in 6 it's all of them together. But in the first one it's like it's the image of the boys in the show, which it looks cool, but I'd rather it be what it is. And yeah, it was a pain. So yeah, Comic-Con experience was, in my opinion, it was a bit of a disaster. Like,
I think overall the best way to describe it would be just L.
Yeah. Like, you get up early, you get up early, you're excited, you're hyped, you bring a bag with you, and you leave with a Lucasade.
Yeah, you leave with a bag of Lucasade. That's the best way to describe it. You leave with a bag of Lucasade.
Not even a bag of Lucasade.
You wouldn't, like, you're not going for Lucasade. You ain't going for no Lucasade.
I'd rather more Lucasade.
You're going to, be entertained. I wasn't entertained. I spent 30 quid in this and I left sick of me. Has just sick, to say the least.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Disappointment was immeasurable. My day was ruined. No, that's bad. Like, at the end of the day, it just didn't hit.
Yeah. But
That's where to put it, folks.
on to a more bright and optimistic topic. We got I think, how do I say this? We got two shows. We got two big upcoming shows right now. Two huge ones. We got House of the Dragon coming out this week, I believe. On Friday.
I think it is,
Saturday,
yeah.
episode 1. And we have Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, coming out at the start of September. And yeah, I mean those are two huge shows that you should definitely keep an eye out for and watch when they come out. They will be coming out one episode at a time, so it'll last like a good while. But I think that's fine. Like, it builds a community. Like, everyone's on the same level, and spoiling yourself is a lot harder.
Mm.
And it's good. Like, I think I'm definitely like, if we compare the two, House of the Dragon, in my opinion, is definitely gonna be better. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, no. It is. It's gonna be better.
Yeah. Like,
it's gonna be better. It's gonna be weird seeing it over the next few days. Like, what? It's House of Dragons, isn't it? Just remind me again. It's House of Dragons coming out.
Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon.
Oh, House of the Dragon. Sorry, not House of Dragons. I don't know what I was thinking House of Dragons for, boy. Just popped into my mind. House of the Dragon is coming out. And
go ahead.
You have. I am looking forward to that show. Bear in mind, I haven't finished Game of Thrones, so I should probably get on to
that. That's cringe, Bill, that you have not finished Game of Thrones. And we should
look, folks. You gotta forgive a boy. You gotta forgive a boy.
You can't forgive a boy for not finishing the best show of all time. Especially
forgive a boy, please.
A boy cannot be forgiven.
A boy will not be forgiven. Please, no. Don't turn me into Reek, please.
Oh, good heavens, no. Jeez, I can't know how to get this work. Anyway, so I'll just quickly give like a rundown of what they're going to be about. So, House of the Dragon is set 200 years before the original Game of Thrones, and it's about like a big Targaryen event, like a big, how would you say, something that could lead to their downfall, like a big, I don't want to say World War II, but how do you say,
catastrophe.
Yeah, a crisis almost. Like a big, if you look at the history of the Targaryens, you have like them coming and conquering Westeros, a ton of other stuff, and then you have major events such as this. I'm pretty sure it's called, I don't know what exactly it's called, so I'm just gonna call it the House of the Dragon event. And then there's obviously the Robert's Rebellion, which is the like one of the huge events. But basically, it's about the Targaryens are ruling, and they have ruled for 100 years at this point. A threat is coming to them, like, I'm pretty sure the succession isn't right. They're trying to sort out who will be next in line. And it's, how do I say this? I don't want to spoil anything, so I know it utilizes, like, a different houses, so we're not going to be seeing, like, I doubt we're going to be Jesus Christ. I doubt we're going to see the wall at all. Like,
no, I don't think we will. I say you'll get a mention.
Yeah, maybe like they'll definitely talk about it. Maybe someone will visit it at some point, but that's not going to be important. The Starks are not going to be important. Like, obviously they're important geopolitically, but in this current conflict, I doubt they'll be important. I'm pretty sure
there'll be side characters at best.
Like, in this,
I feel like after heavy Stark orientated Game of Thrones, it'd be nice to get Targaryen focus.
It's going to be mainly Targaryen, and then the High Towers and Valerians. Which the High Towers are like, they're like, obviously you got the Tyrells, which rule the Reach, and the High Towers are, they're like the second, third most powerful. What's it called? Family. They own Old Town, which you see later on in the Game of Thrones show, which is like it's like this huge library place where maesters like learn and shit. and that's a cool place. And the Valerians, they live like right beside Dragonstone, and they also come from Valeria, like the original place of the Targaryens. And they're like ship people, and they're cool guys. And it'll just focus on like Game of Thrones, the Game of Thrones. People struggling for the power, people trying to find the throne, betrayal, and since I don't really know much about it, I can't really say much. But I'm very excited for it. I mean, obviously the quality's gonna be very good. Dragons are alive at this point, so they're gonna be dragons. Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah, it'll be heavy dragon orientated, considering it's Targaryen.
And they have dragons.
Like, yeah, that is Targaryens for you.
And the Lord of the Rings on the and it's based on the Fire and Blood book, which came out a couple of years ago. Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power it takes place like thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings takes place, before the Fellowship occurs, and it's mainly about the Rings of Power, which are literally the rings that Sauron created, that he gives to men, elves, and dwarves to influence them, and in turn use his ring, the One Ring that he forges, to basically, how would you say, corrupt them and take control over them and establish his new world order and take control of the world, basically. And I'm kind of afraid because I don't really know what it's going to be about. Like,
there hasn't been much trailers or much news. Like, I feel like only Lothar fans would know this show is coming out, which is weird to say for like such a big series, for such like a popular series as well.
The budget for it is the highest of any show ever. The budget is ridiculous because it's Amazon. They just have infinite money. Jeffy B is bankrolling this show.
Jeffy B is definitely a Lothar fan. He's definitely a Lothar fan.
Who wouldn't be?
Oh, well, of course, our track record is quite, commendable with binge watching the Lothar series, to be fair.
Lord of the Rings Marathon, completed it, mate.
Completed.
Extended edition, of course.
We literally spent all day
and
night. We got 2 hours sleep that night just so that we could finish the rest of it.
We had to squeeze a nap in or it would have just collapsed.
I feel like I definitely recommend it for folks. It is definitely a gratifying experience once you get it done. But my god, is it a toll on your body and soul. It is a toll.
It's a toll when you get to Pippin talking, when you get to the extended scenes of Pippin talking to the Ents. That is a toll. When he's talking with Merry and they're both growing from drinking the water. I
thought it was a fever dream. That scene was a fever dream.
You're watching it.
What were we, 6 hours into the run or something? You seen it?
Yeah, that's
what is going on?
You're 5.5 hours in, and you're like, what? Why are they drinking this water? What is this? And they just get shorter in the next scene. What's the point?
It's like, do you ever see the LeBron NBA, legacy memes? It's like, now how will this affect LeBron's legacy? You're watching this how will this affect anything? What does this have to do with anything? Pippin is now 1 centimeter taller after the water, what does this have to do with anything? Why did they even make these scenes?
So this Lord of the Rings show, as I said, it's mainly about the rings. And the trailers have shown a lot of war, a lot of CGI fights, battle, blood, guts, and not blood and guts, blood and swords and fights and war, which I'm pretty sure that was of the time. But it's not based on anything. This isn't based on the Silmarillion or anything. Because the Silmarillion is even more confusing and complex, and that's before Sauron's time. Silmarillion, I'm not going to go into it because I don't know all that much about it, and it's extremely confusing. But it is before, Sauron himself is a servant of Morgoth, this god who existed in the old times alongside the elven gods and whatnot. And Silmarillion, the book, is about these guys fighting each other and the fall of Morgoth and the rise of Sauron. So this show, even though it's based on the works of Tolkien, it's not actually based, how do you say this?
It's based on the works, but it's not actually his.
Yeah, it's based in the world, and it's based on some stories that people might have told each other. Like, it's based on Galadriel giving a brief history of the rings and like the Fellowship. Like, there is no that benefits and hinders the writers at the same time, because they can write whatever they want. Basically, they have no limitations as long as Sauron enslaves the men, and the elves, like their rings are different, and the dwarves throw away their rings. That's like, and Sauron doesn't win. Like they have a lot of free room to write whatever the hell they want. But that begs the question: what's the show going to be like? Like, is it going to be like Game of Thrones in a way that you have different kingdoms vying for power? Like the elves just want to, like, in my opinion, what I'd assume is going to be is they get the rings and they're all like, oh, do we take them, do we not? If Sauron gives it to us, should we accept his power even though he's a bad person? And then some people are going to get stronger, some people are going to like not use the ring and then die.
Yeah.
But I just don't get how it like ends. Like, what does the show end with? Just them? Like, I assume the show would end with the men dying, with like the 9 men. Is it 7 or 9 men? How many?
I think it was 7 men. 7 men.
No, 9. The 9.
It was 9.
Yeah, the 9, because they're all ring mates, so it's a Nazgul.
Oh.
Yeah, the 9. So yeah, with the 9 men all succumbing to the ring. I assume that's how it ends. Like with the men forming the Nazgul. But like, I don't. Unless, like, I don't know how it's gonna end.
I don't know. Is this supposed to be like a 1-season thing, or is it like a Game of Thrones? You know, they're expecting.
I think they're gonna try and make. I think no matter how good it, no matter if people hate it or love it, it's gonna get at least 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
They have so much money.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Even if it's the worst show of all time, they're gonna be like, yep, make more.
Keep pumping this show, please. Keep throwing everything you can at this show.
Like, even like if I read this, like even if I read like the description, it's just so vague. So Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, takes the viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged, kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin, unlikely heroes were tested, hope hung in the finest threads, and the greatest villains that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all the world. And then it's beginning in peace, blah 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 blah. It basically says like characters and kingdoms carve out their legacies to live on long after they are gone. But that means nothing, which works.
It's basically it's a good way of saying we have no premise for the show. That is a great way of saying, like, it's such a vague answer. It's like a horoscope almost. It's like, you will have good luck today. In what sense will I have good luck today? You know, you don't get that answer now.
I'm just
kingdoms fall to ruin. Shit like they rise and they fall to ruin. And you can literally write that about any story. I could talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and say kingdoms rose and fell to ruins. You know, it doesn't actually, like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, United was the kingdom that fell and no rose and fell.
You could literally say that about any single football team. Or you could say that about any single one person, and people are like, oh yeah, fair enough. Say that about goddamn LeBron. You could say that about LeBron's legacy, and people will be like, yeah, you right there. You got a point. Like, what? No, I don't. I just came up with that.
So, I'm just googling it. So apparently, it will lead up to the last alliance of elves and men and the downfall of Sauron. I guess that might be it. I guess the show ends with the elves and men uniting at the very end, and then like Sauron attacks. Isildur cuts his finger off. He casts the ring into the. Well, he doesn't cast the ring into the fire, and then Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit starts. And that's how I'd assume, but that would take a long, long time. I think it's going to be a show that hops through time. I think that's going to be the big thing. I'd assume so anyway.
Well, like it starts like thousands of years
I
before
think
the Fellowship, and then moves its way up gradually, or
I think it's like, because it has characters like Galadriel and I don't know if Elrond's in it, but it has all these characters that live. So like Elrond's in it, and Gil-galad, and all these other characters. I'm pretty sure Gil-galad was in the. Yeah, he was mentioned in the book. You don't see him in the movie, but he was the king of the elves. You have all these characters when they're younger. I assume maybe after season 1 there'll be a time skip, or 2 or 3. But I don't know, man. I mean, it could be good. You could do like they show how the rings are made in the first couple of episodes. Then everyone gets the rings at the end of season 1. Maybe like some dwarf guy or some men will get corrupted and they'll start fighting each other. Then season 2, like the orcs will come out. They'll slowly, or maybe even not then. Like maybe like the men will start fighting each other. The dwarves will start fighting each other. Everyone's just fighting each other. While Sauron slowly starts, like the orcs are slowly coming out. They're slowly, gradually taking land. And then all of a sudden, like, the men are, they're dying and they're turning to Nazgul and Ringwraiths. And then Sauron is just taking land and land and land. And then it ends with them uniting and killing Sauron. That's the only thing I can think of happening.
Actually, I see it more going a Game of Thrones route. And this will be like... So the rings are the MacGuffins. Like, they are, you know, what is most powerful.
Yeah.
And it's going to be... The kingdoms are at peace, like it says in the description at the start. But there's always going to be some underlying tension. And I feel like that's going to form between the men and the elves.
Yeah.
The dwarves, well, it'll be like a trifecta of peace. But one is always going to want more.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be the greed of man, which is like a big premise. In the... Was it the greed of man or dwarves, which was a big thing in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings?
Well,
I know it was the greed of hobbits.
I know...
For their gold.
Hobbits.
No, not hobbits, dwarves, sorry.
Yeah.
I said in The Hobbit. I said of dwarves in The Hobbit.
The greed of dwarves was they delved too deeply. They delved too greedily and deeply in many situations. They did that in Moria, which led to the rise of the Balrog. They were too greedy in the Lonely Mountain, which led to Smaug coming. In general, the dwarves are pretty greedy. The dwarves are greedy. The men are hungry for power. That's the thing.
Oh, it was the men are hungry. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be underlying tensions between the elves and the men.
Yeah.
And the elves are going to be the ones who are saying, we will not use this power. You cannot use this power. And it will be the men with, you know, ambition.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be a bad guy, man. There will be a bad man, let's just say.
Yeah. The bad
man. And I feel like it's going to be a whole Game of Thrones, you know, who comes into power? Does this person have a ring?
Oh, wait, we know who it is. Alright, it's the Witch King of Angmar. That's the guy, that's the main Nazgul, the Witch King of Angmar. It's going to be him. He's going to be the bad guy.
He has to be the bad guy.
It's going to be him, and he'll get the ring.
Either that,
and he'll be very strong, and he'll just beat everyone.
A twist would be he'd be the good guy.
Yeah.
A twist would be he'd be the good guy at the starting.
Yeah.
And he has to resort to using the ring.
Yeah, I guess that's good. Like, you could make a really good show about it, but since we know nothing about it, it's very hard to base our expectations. You know?
I feel like it's either going to go really well or really horribly.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's honestly, I hope they do well. Just for like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want Lord of the Rings to become like Marvel.
And they just keep on pumping stuff out.
Like with Marvel it works because comics just pumps comics out, and a lot of them are bad, a lot of them are good. So for Marvel to do that for Disney to do that with shows, I'm not saying it's good, but I get it. Like, comics are pumped out constantly. Some of them are phenomenal, some are shit. Like, we both know that.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't want Lord of the Rings to become like... I don't want it to become the IP that grows like huge, you know? Like, I don't want it to be spin-off shows about like Celebrimbor and Sauron and all this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just... I feel like it's just not needed.
I'm fine with having The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. If you did a Silmarillion, I'd get it. I'm fine with having like Shadow War and Mordor, even though they're not canon, which I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm fine with this show, but I don't really want too much of it. Like I don't want it. I don't want it to spin off a man like a spin off, an elf spin off, like an L1 spin off. Like I don't want all this. Maybe it won't, but I just don't want it to.
I don't know. Trust me when I say I don't want it either. I do not want it either. I don't want it to turn into the case where you're thinking, oh, dear God, more? Like Disney Plus shows with Marvel, it's like more? You're feeding us more? I like anyone else, I don't want it to turn to that. I really don't.
I'm doing a lot of things.
Yeah, so really.
They were
really pumped them out, to be fair to them. Like,
there were 20.
Like, to be fair to the boy.
There were 20 rings.
20?
Yeah. Three for elves, 7 for dwarves, 9 for men, and 1 ring that was secretly forged in Mount Doom to rule them all.
That has to be it then. That has to be the play for the show. Considering the elves have 7, the men have 9.
Yeah.
That has to be the play. Like the men obviously have more, so that means they have more power. Like, you're going by simple maths here. The elves have to be the ones who are like, you can't use this power, considering the men have 2 over them. I feel like push comes to, gotta nerf men here, please. Don't use your overpowered tools, please. Don't use the magic given to you. Those men being men, or can't help it, boss.
Gotta get corrupted.
Gotta get corrupted by this bad guy, by this obvious bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, we know Galadriel will get a ring, because she has one in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we know. Will she get one at the start or the end? I think it'll be at the end.
Surely at the end. She's like, oh, I've got the ring now. You can't stop me. Like, she's like, oh, I have to. Well, I think the elf rings are different. Like, they're not. I don't know. Something about the elf rings are weird. Like, I haven't gotten that far in the Fellowship. I haven't got to Lothlorien when they explain it, because I'm reading the book. I haven't gotten that far yet. But there's something about the elf rings that are different. Or I don't quite know, but it's like,
I feel like they can't strain them on or something.
I don't know what it is, but like apparently there's something like protects. I think it might be Lothlorien, the place, which like does something to the rings, but I don't know.
Maybe it like
they'll explain it. I just hope it'll be good. I'm definitely more excited for Game of Thrones, but I hope both shows are good. After all, I don't want anything bad to happen.
Oh, neither do I, but if it was gonna happen to any show, I'd rather happen to the Lord of the Rings show. Yeah. They get the memo, they decide not to pump it anymore.
Yeah.
Than it happened to, the nice new crispy Game of Thrones show, because that is more than welcome.
Yeah. Apparently Moria will be the capital, because Moria was an old ancient city called Khazad-dûm. That's cool. And there'll definitely be a Balrog.
Oh, there has to be.
I'm pretty sure there was in the trailer a Balrog.
Another cool reference to detail there, I like that.
Well,
Lothar is always good for its reference to detail.
Well, it's like Tolkien like spent like 50 years making it. It's ridiculous how much shit. Like, it's ridiculous how much shit he wrote for it.
Yeah, I think it. Where'd you go? Oh, it came out. The Hobbit came out in 19.
Hobbit came out in the Hobbit book came out in 1937. So just before World War II.
Jesus Christ.
And then The Lord of the Rings came out in 1957, I believe. 1954. And
That is unbelievable.
like Tolkien was born. Like he was thinking about it since World War One. He was born in 1892.
What was he taking during that war to come up with? that is the real question, folks. Like, what was he on?
The fella lived till 1973. That's crazy. He actually saw it all in his life. He saw World War One, World War Two, and the 60s.
He saw the 60s as well. Yeah, Jesus. Fella really lived through it all, huh?
Well, that's crazy.
Imagine being able to say that. Imagine being able to say you lived through it all.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll live through it all. Maybe it'll be the recession.
I can't wait for the for the wars. Like, oh,
well, maybe if you're born in maybe you're born in 1995, you'll have lived through 9/11, the recession, COVID, and then like this upcoming recession, and then the American Civil War.
The American Civil War. To be fair, it is coming. Like it's probably gonna happen.
No, it's definitely not gonna happen.
I feel like it's gonna happen.
A war is people can't comprehend what a war is. People are like, oh, American Civil War. Yeah, we're gonna take over. The second 10 people die, nothing's gonna happen. You know, the military will just wipe out anything. Any of these it doesn't matter what side.
Any of these hoolies.
Yeah,
any of these hooligans.
Any of these huckleberries or homies trying to rock up, they'll just be blown to smithereens. If anyone thinks anything is gonna happen, they're having a laugh. The only thing that could happen is if fucking Trump got back into power and decide to nuke everyone or something.
Let's go. No, I'm in no way, shape or form condoning Trump come back into power. I'm not doing that.
We are also living through the Ukraine-Russian war, which has sadly become a normal thing.
Yeah, it's not disclosed in press or anything like that anymore, which is quite sad to say.
That started in March? February. It's been going for fucking 6 months now.
And there is still no sign of it ceasing or any progress or anything, because honestly we just don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever know.
They say, you never know what's happening on the other side of the fence. You don't know.
We'll say, our user will say, oh, this is happening, and we just don't know what's happening out there. We might be getting 2-week-old information. It's just it's impossible to know what is happening because it's just too much information, too much fake information.
Definitely too much.
It's impossible to weed out the truth from not truth, basically. Because one side says something and the other side will be like, that's a lie, and the other side will say, oh, that's a lie. And,
yeah, you're kind of left in this little loop of what's actually real here, folks.
God, didn't think we'd be talking about Ukraine on this
I know,
podcast.
yeah. Really a turn on this pod, huh?
So, what do you think of the geopolitics happening in the Middle East now?
Jesus Christ! I think we wrap it up for today, folks. I think that's
What are you thinking? What about Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka. Y'all ever seen the movie Blood Diamond?
I'm thinking of the American Psycho quote when he's like, what about Sri Lanka, honey? And the sheiks are killing all the Israelis over there, and it's kind of like, okay, cool. I watched that movie again today with someone on. Oh god, I can never.
It's such a good movie. I think the first 20 minutes of the movie are the best.
I think the first 40 minutes are just iconic. Up to the saga of Paul Allen. Yeah.
I feel like the movie can really be broken down. You have Pimp Patrick at the start, that first half.
Yeah, it's up to Paul Allen, it changes. Then you have the hookers and the deteriorating mindset, and then you have crazy Paul Allen. What is that? Crazy cheese.
Paul Allen.
Crazy Patrick Bateman.
Crazy Paul Allen.
Crazy Patrick Bateman for the last 20 minutes.
Patrick Bateman.
Patrick Baseman.
Patrick Basement, if you will.
Patrick Beast.
I still, yeah, it's just like, just the first half an hour.
Yeah.
It's iconic for me. It's perfect. You can't get much better. Movie sense, like a character sense as well. It's just an iconic character. Like you don't expect this from a main character. Like, I don't care. You're not listening in any way. You're stupid. You're this. You're that. Like what? Crazy stuff. But yeah, it's seen so casually, and nobody actually listens to him, and nobody actually cares. It's crazy.
You know, especially like after finishing this movie, there's so many ways to interpret like what it is. Like. Who like is even Patrick Bateman? Like that is a question that you can pose. I'm not gonna spoil it now. Like we'll talk about it maybe someday. But like the question is like, is he Patrick Bateman? Did he? How many people has he killed? Has he imagined it all?
Has he killed anyone?
Yeah, like it's crazy, and it's not in a bad way. It's like a thought-provoking way, not some bullshit like, oh, was it all a dream? So
personally, if we're gonna get into it, and I feel like we should do this next episode.
Yeah.
I don't actually think he's killed anyone. Number one.
I disagree. I think a good chunk of it is real.
I don't think so. I think that's just him. I wouldn't say like manifesting, but like him like deluding himself.
I get you, yeah. Like the more
reality.
Yeah, like Paul Allen was just the first delusion, and then it gets more and more.
Yeah, like you know, there's the theory going around that you know the name which Paul Allen keeps calling him. I forget
Marcus
the name.
Halberstrand.
Yeah, that's actually him.
You know, it's funny because
Patrick Bateman is just the mask he puts on.
Yeah, that's good as well. There's also one where at the end his lawyer calls him Davis, and it's like maybe he's another than ever. Like, the way I see it is, I'm quickly just going to mention, the way I see it is that he is Patrick Bateman, but through the sheer capitalistic and self-absorbed nature of that world, they all just genuinely think he's someone else. And we'll get into it some other day. But overall, thank you for tuning in, anyone who's watched it, whether you are watching it live on YouTube or on the YouTube video, which will come out whenever. Please like and subscribe, follow, and go and check out our Twitch. We might stream there next day, probably will, because I think we'll try Twitch next time and directly compare it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, thank you for watching, and keep talking telly. Yeah, alright. See you guys.